the scapula. Don't forget that. It's a little prominent piece of anatomy that pokes up there. And always keep it in mind, if we've hit that anatomy before, I can always ask that same anatomy again. So in the same token, let's go to Jessley. What would B be referring to?
The left clavicle.
The left clavicle. A lot of people put the body of the clavicle, which is correct as well. I appreciate the specificity there, but as long as you put the left clavicle, you did get credit for that question. Let's go to John. John, what would C be referring to?
It's a posterior rib, a left posterior rib. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth left posterior rib.
Correct. That is the fifth posterior rib. As long as you put the fifth rib, I went ahead and give you credit on that. I didn't count off for posterior versus anterior unless I actually asked that in the question, which there was one or two I did ask for that. But C would be the fifth posterior rib, are correct. Just to show you guys, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do not forget how to count those ribs. I know I keep saying that, but man, the registry loves to have you guys count ribs. Please make sure you master that. Let's go to D. That's going to go to Jolie. D was referring to a space. Jolie, what is D referring to?
Left 7 intercostal space.
So say again, Jolie. I was losing audio on you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Left 7 intercostal space.
The left intercostal space, and that's going to be the seventh one specifically correct. The seventh intercostal space on the left side. Very good. So E is also going to be referring to a space. It's going to go to Jonathan.
The left ninth intercostal space.
Correct. That's going to be the ninth intercostal space. And just to show you guys how to count those once again. Remember, each space coordinates with the rib below it. So here's our 12th rib, 12th space, 11th rib, 11th space, 10th rib, 10th space, 9th rib, therefore this is the 9th intercostal space right here. Okay. Wani, let's go to F. What is F referring to?
It's the left 11th posterior rib.
The left 11th posterior rib. As long as you put the 11th rib, that was correct. So the 11th rib, very good, on the left side. All right, let's go to G. That's going to be Sharon. Sharon, what was G referring to? It's another rib. Sharon, can you hear me? Oh. I'm not sure if Sharon can hear me, so that's going to be the 9th right rib. 9th right rib for letter G. Now, letter H, Luke, that's going to go to you. You guys knew this one was coming. You knew I was going to have that on there. You know, I cannot avoid that piece of anatomy. So, Luke, what is H?
Coracoid process.
The coracoid process, the right one specifically. Right coracoid process. Very good. Let's go to Maricela. Maricela, what is I referring to?
Is it the first right posterior rib?
Correct. The first right rib, or right posterior rib to be specific, but as long as you put the right first rib, you did get credit for that question. Good. Any questions on image 2 before we move on?
What was A again?
A was the superior angle of the left scapula.
Thanks.
Welcome. All right. Let's go to this one here. This is probably the one that people struggle with the most. Obliques can be quite difficult. So for the position on this one, as long as you allow you to put the actual LPO, REO, things like that, as long as you put oblique ribs, or you gave me one of those LPOs or REOs, you did get credit for that question. Specifically, an oblique rib, it could be an LPO or an REO. So So let's go ahead and name our anatomy on this one. So Naomi, you're up first on this one. Letter A. Once again, you guys know I got to put that on there. Pretty prominent on that X-ray.
The coracoid of the right scapula.
Correct. The right coracoid crosses the scapula. Very good. And just to give you guys a hint there, I don't keep putting that just because I love it. I do love that piece of anatomy because I like the word, but that's another one the registry does like to label quite a bit. It's a very prominent part of the scapula. So I'm not doing it just to have fun. It is a very important piece of anatomy to make sure you remember. Okay, so letter B, I did end up accepting a couple answers on this one. But letter B is going to go to Ruth. Ruth, can you tell us what B is?
It's the left head of the humerus.
Left head of the humerus. I also went ahead and accepted the anatomical neck of the humerus as well because that is actually directly on the anatomical neck as well. So as long as you put either of those answers, you got credit for that one. So either the head of the humerus, the left head of the humerus, or the left anatomical neck of the humerus. Okay, letter C. It's going to go to Stephanie. C, I was wanting the joint name.
Is it the sternal-humeral joint?
Say that again, Stephanie. You were cutting out.
Sternal-humeral joint?
So close, but it's actually the scapulo-humeral joint. So it's not going to be the sternal because that'll be closer to the sternum. So that's going to be that connection between the shoulder and the head of the humerus. That'll be the scapulo-humeral joint, the left scapulo-humeral joint. A lot of people did put the glenoid cavity. You did get counted off the glenoid cavity because I was particularly asking for the joint. Glenoid cavity would be the landmark right there. So for joint, scapulo-humeral joint.
How about the glenoid-humeral joint?
Glenoid-humeral, yeah, I gave credit on that as well, son.
Okay.
Yes, glenoid-humeral or scapulo-humeral. It can go interchangeably with both those terms. But if you put glenoid fossa, you did get credit off for that one. It needed to be the actual joint name. Okay, letter D. Let's see, jump back up to Esvede for letter D. That was referring to a space. What space would that be? Whoops. Uh-oh.
The left fifth and
What?
Hang on, I don't know what happened here. There we go. Sorry. Letter.
I put the left fifth intercostal space.
Fifth, well, let's count together just to be sure. I even have to count these because these obliques can be difficult to look at. Remember, the first is only above the first rib, which is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the fifth intercostal space. The left fifth intercostal space. Therefore, E is going to be the fifth rib. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth rib. Let's go to F. That's going to be back to Amy. I think on this one I was asking if that was anterior or posterior, if I recall correctly. So would F be an anterior or posterior ribbing?
Anterior.
Anterior. I can't remember if I was asking for the number on that one or not, but just in case, let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the seventh rib, or seventh anterior rib to be specific, on the right side. Seventh rib. All right, any questions on this image before we move on?
Can you repeat D and E?
D is going to be the fifth intercostal space, and E is going to be the fifth rib, both on the left side. Left fifth intercostal space and left fifth rib.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And F, once again, is going to be that seventh rib. That's the anterior rib.
Can you determine, just by looking at this one, it says left marker, in the left belonging below, I tell you it's an open.
So that's a good question, Jonathan. Most likely, yes. But because so many texts miss mark exams, you can't 100% be certain on that. This could technically be an REO, and they just mark the left side.
Okay.
So yes, but no. That's why I said, guys just tell me that's an oblique rib. I accept that because there's not a 100% certainty that we can say it's an LPO.
Like they could have the side L because that's of interest kind of thing.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, I got you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to our last image, image number 4. This is going to be our lateral sternum. The A referring to.
The manubrium of the sternum.
It is going to be the manubrium of the sternum. You are correct. Letter B, that's going to go to. Do we have any sound yet? No, I still don't think we have any sound. That's okay. To Esaias, what is B? That's referring to a joint.
Sternal angle.
Sternal angle or manubriosternal joint. Once again, I accepted both of those for the answer. And Jaleisha, what is C?
Is that the body of the sternum?
Body of the sternum. And last but not least, Javier, what is D? Oh, can you unmute Javier? I can't hear you. Guess we having some audio issues with everybody today. Okay. Well, that's going to be the xiphoid process or the xiphoid tip. Thank you, Javier, for texting it. Yes, xiphoid process or xiphoid tip of the sternum. Good. All right, any questions on this last image? All right, guys, we'll have a lot more practice to come when we start getting into C-spine because the anatomy is going to become more complex as we move forward here on out. So do buckle up for that. It's going to be a lot more heavy moving forward, but we're going to take our time, get through it all individually. Make sure you guys master it as we get through each of these image reviews and get you more and more prepared for that registry as that day gets closer and closer. All right. And if you have any further questions on this, just let me know. Glad to review it with you.
Mr. Donahue, I know it's a little early, but you think you can start sending the image review to the rest? Like,
Yeah.
the early help.
Yes, I will. I'm glad you brought that up, Esme, because you sent me a reminder. I'm going to start sending you guys the PowerPoints as well. Make sure you guys have that all on hand as we start hitting the new information. So yes, I will send that out. Absolutely. All right. So before we jump into the next chapter, guys, go ahead. Let's go ahead and do our brief little break. I'm going to need to run to the restroom real quick. Take about 10 minutes. Let's come back at 12:17, and we'll go ahead and move on to our next chapter on the C-spine. See you guys in 10 minutes.